Hello, hello, hey. Okay, I think we're live. Let me know if you can hear me correctly. Okay, let me mute this. Okay, yes. Welcome. Welcome to another live stream. Let me know if you can hear the voice. Let me know if you can hear the bass. I changed the strings so it may sound a little bit metallic. So okay, I think we're okay. So welcome to another live stream. It's a Q&A, it's live lessons as the title says. And the thing here, if you never came after, or I mean before, I will be answering your questions. So this is your space in a way. A more relaxed, chill out thing. So you can give me your questions. I will be guiding you to an answer in in the knowledge I possess, of course. And I will be trying to include some things I think they are worth mentioning for you. So it's more your space. The amount of time I will be here depends only on you, and everything. So if you have some things you want to know for I don't know, beginners from intermediate to advanced to, I think I can give you some feedback in many levels. So yeah, this is a cat. It's not a long hamster. But yeah, um, I think I had some questions from before, so let me check. hmm About request, I think this is not the place for say much of the songs I need to to cover, because the comments pass very quickly, so I can't really read in sometimes. But the comment section in every video is the place for you to ask, okay, can you do this song and whatever. So I think this is not the place. So um, frequently asked things, as always. The bass is a Washburn Taurus T24. This is the only bass I have. I've been playing it for about 6 years, as I always say. And what else? Okay. Um, choo-choo-choo. How do you slap and pick your bass? Okay, really basic question that I always try to answer and give a little lesson about slapping, a really fast thing for people that want to get into it. It's not that hard, of course. You just need to get the technique well at the beginning. So, for it, the thing about it is slapping and popping, of course. You have those two techniques together to get a good slap line, slap groove, or whatever. So remember, always slapping and popping is right at the end of the fretboard. You use this part of your thumb to hit the string, and the movement comes from your wrist, never from the arm. You don't do this. It's always right here. So you can play in this position, or maybe in this position. The best from you, you know, and you just practice with one note or maybe with open strings, so you can do this. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of like the beginning of Around the World. Yeah, it's kind of if you're wondering how do you get some of the Red Hot Chili Peppers sound, you really need to have new strings. That's the important thing. But yeah, going back to the slapping thing, you have this movement, the wrist movement is really important, so you don't get tired, and you can practice it. You can just mute the strings right here. When you mute the strings, you just place the fingers in the strings, not pressing, and you will get this sound. So you can play and get the ghost notes or muted notes or muted slapping. So you get this, and you practice with the wrist, always getting this movement, and you can get it a little bit of speed. So you can start with this speed, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can speed it up together, but always using your wrist, as you can see, in a very relaxed position. You're not trying to just smash the string, so you just do it like this. The amount of sound depends really on your action, the highness of the strings compared to the fretboard, and if you have new strings, it's better also. So you can practice right here for the slapping, and trying to accelerate a little bit. When you get comfortable, you always go faster. You don't get faster if you're not doing it great in a slow speed. So, and when you do it faster, it's always hard. There's some level when you will not get much speed. And for the popping thing, you just grab the string with the index or middle or even this finger, and just grab the string and pull it. So you should get this sound. And combined, you have this. I think this is the default exercise for everyone trying to practice, just doing some octaves. So you have a maybe a G right here, third fret and 5th fret, and you do this. Try not to getting the two to sound together, so you don't have to do this, because you want to differentiate the notes. So you have this. So having cleanness in your playing is the most difficult thing, and that is very important to practice always slow. So you have this, and when you're going to the other note, you mute the other string with the same finger, just placing it right there. So this is kind of a basic thing. I think you let me know if you want more of it. This is for someone who asked about slapping. So, Lazy Venom, hello. What age did you start? And I started about, I said 6 years ago. I'm 25, so you do the math. I don't want to. um, what bassist inspired you? And I was thinking about it. I always say, we always say Flea in a way, because I mean, here in the country here, I'm from Chile. It's a country in South America. There's much inspiration from Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think, but I always liked when I started, and I'm actually doing some things from Robert DeLeo, I think you pronounce it, from Stone Temple Pilots. I really like the way he plays. He plays in much in. I really like some songs, some lines he does. I think he really have a really unique style to create a good line. So I really like and really enjoy the variety of people doing this. So don't always get with don't always get inspired by some little quantity of people, you know. Get inspiration from anything. How to strum with your fingers, says Kova 5K, I think. Like in the Red Hot Chili Peppers Snow. Okay, if you're referring to the, let me check the tablature, so we can practice about strumming. That's a good idea. Thanks for the question. So about strumming, if you're not very accustomed to guitar, it may be hard, I think. So let's see. I have a lot of tabs. 278 tablatures. Okay. Snow. So I think the chorus is played with strumming. I don't remember the strumming pattern, so let me check it right here. It's something like this. Something like that. So when you're strumming in bass, you can kind of emulate a guitar in some parts. So you can do this. So the most important thing when you're strumming, and I know when I learned in guitar, is to always maintain this motion, maintaining a good hand motion. It's really important for you to maintain a good rhythm. So practicing this, it's important. So when it's kind of the same deal with guitar. You use your fingernails to strum down and your thumb to strum up. It may be a little more difficult because the strings are obviously thicker, so it may be more difficult. So you can practice with any chord. I think you can practice open, but to sound better, we can use let's use D chord. In this case, just the root, fifth, and octave, and it's 5th fret D, and A, 7th fret, the D string, and G string, another D in the higher octave. So you have this, and you can practice like this, just with downstrokes. your strings, I mean your nails may hurt a little bit at the beginning, so you just need to get accustomed to it. And always try to be accurate and hit with the string, with the nails, so you don't get hurt your knuckles, or maybe a softer part of your hands. So and for up, the same, but with your thumb. So this is one, I think, technique for strumming. Very similar to guitar in a way. But the thing you need to practice more is trying to do some simple patterns, something like this, maybe one quarter note and two eighth notes. In this case, 1 1 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. You know, pam 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 pam, something like that, so you can get accustomed to the movement. So in that case, you always want to move your hand according to the fastest figure in this case. So if you have a quarter note and two eighth notes, you will be moving your hand in an eighth note motion, so you get a really good and tight rhythm. So it's never something like this. That's the part some people get really wrong when you're just doing that, and it sounds and looks really robotic, something really awkward. So you really need to relax and do that kind of motion, you know. And for the other type of strumming, you have this, and that is a little bit more tricky. So you have the same chord, but you use your strings, your fingers in this way. So you can use maybe these two fingers or maybe three, and just in this motion trying to strum down. This is kind of the Primus thing for every strumming pattern for Primus. And for going back, for going up, you use the same fingers but with the tip of the fingers. Kind of something like this. So you can practice with something like this, you know, and doing always a nice and a smooth motion, you know. When you play, you really need to look confident and smooth also, because that movement, that confidence will give you a really confident playing also. It's not about always about a style. No, you really need to think you're great, to be great. So maybe another question. Si quieren respuestas en español, tienen que hacer preguntas en español, por si acaso. Como por ejemplo, ANT4REZ, creo. ¿Podrías darme unos consejos a la hora de tocar la canción de los Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dark Necessities? Okay, I will be answering some things in Spanish too when someone asks me, because I try to be universal. um, but he's asking about um, tips from Dark Necessities. So let me check about that song. You let me know if it's for the slapping part, maybe, or for the chorus, because it has many parts. Entonces hazme saber si qué parte es la que más te interesa, porque tiene bastantes partes. Entonces a la hora de tocar Dark Necessities necesitas saber sobre la parte de slap, la parte del coro. Te voy a dar un tiempo para que me respondas y así puedo enfocarme en eso. Mr. Nassim says, our stream's going to be every Friday at a certain time, and I'm trying to do that so you can know this is the moment for it, for asking something and maybe getting some answer in return. Unfortunately, I don't speak Italian, Mr. Lorenzo. El bajo es pasivo, por si acaso. Y Mr. Antares respondió para la parte del slap, sobre todo el tema de las notas muertas. Ok. I will be playing the slapping part from Dark Necessities. Always people asking about it. So. And the second part, la segunda parte, I think. Okay. Here's the second part, la segunda parte. And so here's the thing. Ok, para el asunto de las notas fantasmas es difícil, es complejo y voy a usar solamente la primera parte para explicar. So, tienes esta parte. Si lo hago lento. Y es el mismo patrón, un parecido patrón para todas las siguientes acordes. Entonces vamos a usar solamente esta parte. Entonces, como les expliqué, para hacer slap y pop, si ya tienes eso bien controlado, lo difícil es, claro, mutear de esta manera usando los dedos para que las cuerdas no suenen y tratar de hacer este movimiento. Entonces lo primero es tratar de practicar todo el patrón, todo esto, pero solo con notas fantasma. Entonces tienes ya esa tarea distinta. So in English, if you want to practice the main thing about this riff, you can use just this part and trying to only use the ghost notes first. So you can do it like this. So slow, lento. So you have tienes slap, slap, es dos veces. Slap, 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 pop. Slap, 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 pop. Slap, 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 pop. Y después solamente alternar. Pan, tu, pan, tu, pan, tu, tam, 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 te, pum, pum, pu, pu, pam, tam, 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 te, pum, pum, pu, pu, pam, Entonces cuando ya tiene eso bien incorporado, la idea es tratar de seleccionar notas para que suenen y notas para que no suenen. Selecting notes to sound and not sound in a ghost note technique. So and doing that motion, siempre ese movimiento. Si te fijas es siempre el mismo patrón. Entonces lo difícil está en tratar de usar la mano izquierda para controlar qué es lo que quieres que suene y no suene. Using your left hand to controlling what you want to be ghost note, what you don't want to be a ghost note. So I'm personally using these fingers. Estoy usando estos dedos para controlar esa situación. Fíjense más en los dedos. Check the fingers. Left hand. So I encourage you to do this with me. Tratemos de hacer esto juntos, si es que tienes el bajo, por supuesto. Y después es solamente cosa de tratar de practicar. Espero haberte ayudado un poco con esa situación. No sé, tú dime. So, going back to questions. Yeah, about Metallica, I know I have to do some things, so please be patient about it. So, let me check some other questions, maybe. Another question. I already showed myself in a video, so if you haven't seen it, you can see it. It's called 200,000 subscribers or something like that. So, um, okay, maybe my voice is a little bit soft. Let me check it out. Mm, okay, I think now it's a little bit louder. So, um, what do you think of software like Rocksmith, but it today to start playing bass? I'm not really familiarized with that software and with that game in a case, but I really like it. Um, when I've seen it in videos and whatever, I think it's a really good initiative for people to start practicing it. But I don't get much of how can you read the tabs in a really unfamiliar way for me. Um, I think it would be better if you can get accustomed to read um, the tablature as every person knows how to read it. In some cases it may be difficult, but of course if you get accustomed, everything it's great if you want to start practicing. So I really liked Guitar Hero when I was younger, and I already like it now. So I don't have it now, but I think that received many critics in some time about how can you play this, the time you're using for playing this, you can learn whatever instrument or whatever. So I really thought, okay, it's it's a thing, of course, but you can really learn much of rhythmic patterns just by playing Guitar Hero, and you can learn much about music also. You can learn many things about music in a way. So that's really important for me. It was really important to know some bands, some music I didn't really knew about. So yeah, I really I liked Guitar Hero, and I would really like to start playing it again, just because of the nostalgia of it, you know. Um, um, what was the tune I was playing? It was Dark Necessities by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Um, so yeah, I really remember fondly about Guitar Hero. I really liked it. I would love to maybe play some of that things and maybe stream it in another, maybe in Twitch or something like that, so we can have a fun time in other time. I will really think about that. Um, okay, how to be better at walking bass? And someone asked me about this when I uploaded the thing, the Sesame Street thing. I think it's pronounced Plaza Sésamo. But yeah, it's difficult because you really need to think about many things when you're playing. But there are some basics, and the basic thing about walking bass, it's always trying to play quarter notes in any time. So if you have maybe an A minor chord and you're trying to walk that line, you will be trying to play always quarter notes. So you can do something like this. whatever. So and trying to maintain that pattern. But the thing about the notes, it's the important thing, knowing which notes belong to a chord. It's really important for you to start knowing how to work a bass line. So, quick example: if you have a A minor, it's composed, any basic chord, it's composed of 3 notes, and of course if you add the 7th, it's 4 notes for you to play about that note. So if, for example, you have a A minor, you have the root that gives the name of the chord in a minor chord, and that's A. So you really need to know your fretboard, of course. Knowing where's an A, it's important. Here's an A, here's an A, A, open string, and some other A's. So you know that knowledge and you apply it to all the composed notes from a chord. So you have a A minor, and the third, it's the other note that composed the chord, that forms the chord, and the minor third, it's the thing that gives the chord the name minor. So you search for the minor third from A, and you have a C. Okay, A, C, and the fifth, it's E, and you have this A, C, E. Those 3 notes form A minor chord, and if you add the 7th, is A, C, E, and G for the 7th, the minor 7th. In this case, A minor 7th. So the thing about doing a really great walking bass line, and I don't have much of the knowledge of it. I think I have the theory and the basic theory about it, but applying it, it's really difficult. So if you're moving through hard chords and whatever, so trying to apply these notes, and always using also passing notes, notes that are out of that chord to get to another chord, and that's what gives the entertaining part of it. So maybe if you're doing something from A minor to D minor 7, the same configuration of notes, the root, the third, the fifth, and the 7th for the D minor 7. And how do you get from this chord to this other chord? You can practice just doing first just doing root. Maybe if you're doing something like this, here I'm just doing the root of the chord. So you have A minor, A, D minor, D, and you can also add the 5th maybe. So I'm adding the root of the A minor 7th chord and the 5th, which is E, and the same deal for D minor 7, D and A for the 5th. when I'm trying to go past from A minor 7 to D minor 7, and you have this, maybe you can pass through with a note that's not from the not really from the harmony of the chord, but you can use it, so you can do something like this, something like this. So you pass from the E to the root of the D with this note, and that is, I think, the basic thing from to learn about a walking bass line. It's knowing which notes are you playing, but knowing how to get out of it and try to walk it in a really walking line. That's why it's called walking, because you don't see many jumps in the thing, you know. There's constant rhythmic that guides you through the song. So you have this, and maybe you can try with the third also. That's really basic, but that's the thing. So if you're thinking maybe going from A minor 7, from D minor 7, and to C major, you can try to practice. Okay, root, and maybe then the fifth, and maybe then thirds. And knowing your fretboard in this way, I think it's important, and I'm still practicing about it. But yeah, I think I will be practicing more and trying to give you a really more approximate approach to what it is. But yeah, hello to everyone. Hello, hola David Castillo, Galen Marek, I think. No sé cómo pronunciarte. Hello from Australia, says. Who says? Mark M. Hello. Are you a patron? I don't remember. I think. Hola a todos. Hola de Dodo SG. So it's the plagal cadence 4/1 considered a tonal cadence, or is it considered modal? It should be tonal or not. I think you have the first and the fourth grade. If you apply to C major, you have a F and C. It could be tonal, but it may be not. I'm not really sure. If you apply it to different context, I think. Not really sure about it. Okay, if you have any more questions, let me know. Mr. David Castillo dice, ¿me das consejos para tocar bajo? Creo que es una pregunta un poquito amplia. ¿Qué consejo te interesa? Quizás eso podría responderme. Pero si es un consejo para principiante, el único que te voy a dar es practica mucho. Pero si quieres algo más en específico, me puedes preguntar, por supuesto. About slapping techniques, as Justin Didon, he can go back to when this ends. You can watch this again, and you will notice in the first minutes I explain about the slapping. So, in order to not repeating myself, I will wait for you to watch it again. So, Galen Pregunta, ¿me das consejos para tocar blues? Ok, lo primero quizás es saber cuál es la armonía o la estructura de un blues. Y después también cuál es la escala blues. Entonces, por ejemplo, en la menor, la escala blues es... Perdón. En una posición. La, do, re, re sostenido, mi, sol, la. Y de vuelta. La única diferencia con la escala pentatónica es esta nota. Una nota de paso de re sostenido a mi. Y después lo aplicas también, lo puedes también aplicar a la estructura de un blues, que es algo como esto. Primero el acorde principal, después vas al cuarto, en este caso re menor, de la menor, y finalmente vas del quinto y vuelves al cuarto, re, y sigues en la. Algo así. Entonces lo primero es saber la estructura, que se compone de lo que te acabo de decir. Si lo haces en un blues menor, sería, por ejemplo, en la menor, el primer grado, después vas a un cuarto grado que es el re menor, todo puede ser con séptima, y también pasas por el quinto en esa misma estructura. Y esa es la escala. Creo que de esa manera te puedes manejar simplemente, pero hay bastante más que puedes averiguar también, o preguntar, o seguir preguntando. More questions. Hello, I just got my first bass the other day. It's an Ibanez Geo. What are some good tips for beginners that you have? Okay, I try to always say the same, but it doesn't always comes this way. Okay, for beginners, very important. Don't try to rush. Practice slow. Try to practice every day this warm-up exercise, because I think it really helped for me and to get the technique. Important. Focus on your technique first, and then on difficult things and whatever. So try to get a good position. Try to maintain a good position. Playing the bass right here. Maybe using the strap to get a good position also. Resting your arm right here and relaxing your position, and trying not to using this thumb right here, putting it right behind the bass, and trying to have this position, a really open position, and practicing this thing that it really helped me. It's just a warm-up exercise, and you go through all the notes through here and go back. So first you always alternate with these two fingers. Always use the thumb to maintain a kind of an axis to play these two fingers. Always pushing with your thumb in a string, so you get a good position. Never doing this. Always right here, and it's too difficult, you can start right here, so you don't stretch too much. And always really slow. Maybe I'm doing it fast if you're a beginner, so you can do something like this. Always index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. Always, as I said, pushing with your thumb, having a relaxed position. Never doing this at the beginning. Don't do this. Don't force yourself. And if it's hurting, it's wrong. So don't do it. And practicing this, going back, and always backwards too. So you will get much more flexibility, and the physical part will be really important to cover, you know. And for more advanced people, I always do this exercise when I'm starting to practice. So always try to do this. And going up. And going back. And you can do some variations. You can do something like this. Always from slow to very fast, or how much you can handle. So here's some really simple and fast advice, but you really need to check some lessons I have to try to practice some easy songs, but always having a really the better position you have will be better for your playing in the future. So hola, llevo una semana aprendiendo bajo. ¿Qué tipo de canciones o bandas recomiendas para practicar y reforzar técnicas en el bajo? Llevo tocando cosas, Spitting Out Demons y Dirty Harry de Gorillaz. ¿Qué te recomiendo? Yo creo que la gente también de los comentarios te puede recomendar muchas más cosas para comenzar, pero quizás iniciar con cosas que tú encuentras difíciles no es lo más importante. Tener una meta de algo que puede ser más complejo es importante, y tratar de practicarlo hasta lograrlo, pero primero ir por cosas más sencillas. Está bien con lo que empezaste, pero puedes hacer también cosas de, no sé, puede ser Pixies, puede ser Foo Fighters, puede ser mucho del rock alternativo. Tiene líneas que son quizás sencillas, pero importantes de conocer. Rock clásico, ir por esa parte y después tratar de meterse en otras cosas. Buscar harto, creo, rock clásico, rock alternativo y cosas que no sean tan complejas. Y mucho de practicar cosas que pueden ser aburridas, pero importantes, como cosas tan fáciles como hacer esto. Pero hacerlo bien. Will you update your Tommy the Cat video? I will try. I'm quite busy every time, so but I want to do that and try to give it a really more better quality in audio and in interpretation, of course. Do you have any tips for switching time signatures in the middle of songs? Counting every time, it's really important in that cases if you're not very accustomed to odd time signatures. In that case, when I'm confronting myself to maybe a 5/4 or a 7/4, I'm always counting and trying to divide those times into times you're more familiar with. In that case, a 5/4, you can convert that into a 3/4 and a 2/4, and for the 7 you can do it the same, maybe a 4 and a 3, and trying to get the feel of it. But counting at first it's very important. When you switch from one to another, always listen to the drums, because they will kind of give you the guide, I think. And I don't know what else. When you practice a lot, maybe you don't have to feel the tempo. Maybe I don't ever count 1, 2, 3, 4 when I'm playing. Because I know the feel of it. But when I'm confronted, as I said to you, to other type of time signatures, I'm always preparing to count, so I don't get lost. In your mind, of course. You can count out loud if you want to. How to sing and play bass. That's really difficult. And I do kind of a backup voices for my band when I'm playing live, and it's always difficult. So I'm always trying to simplify my lines when it's my turn to sing. But it will be always difficult. So you really need to practice applying different rhythms, because some of the times you will be singing some rhythm and playing other rhythm. But I think important things you might be trying to do, it's first sing the thing you have to sing, then try to play, and then try to do the two things, but really slow. Okay, and when you more and more practice more and more, it will be easier, because you will get accustomed to. So maybe if you sing better than play, or play better than sing, try to master the line you play in a way that you don't really even think about it, and then it will be easier to sing on top of it. Tengo una pregunta. Cuando hay que parar el sonido, tú usualmente, o siempre, no estoy seguro, usas tu mano izquierda, pero yo siempre tiendo a hacerlo con la mano derecha. ¿Debería no hacer eso? Depende mucho de ti. La idea es usar las dos. Creo que siempre trato de usar las dos. Por ejemplo, si tengo que, no sé, pasar de una cuerda a otra, en este caso. Si te fijas, estoy usando la mano derecha para... el pulgar de la mano derecha para pasar de aquí a aquí, y con el pulgar detener esa cuerda. Si no lo hiciera, se escucharía un pequeño zumbido, algún pequeño sonido. Especialmente cuando voy a pasar. Y si hago esto, se escucha más sonido cuando voy a quitar. Entonces, siempre manteniendo el pulgar para tapar algunas cuerdas, y también con estos otros dedos también. A veces lo hago. Cuando voy de vuelta, por ejemplo, si no detuviera esa cuerda, sonaría así. Entonces, ¿qué hago? Usar este dedo para detener el sonido de la cuerda que está al lado también. De esta manera. Entonces tienes que usar todo lo que tengas disponible para que no se escuche ningún sonido extra que no quieras que suene. Mientras más limpio, mejor. Si se ensucia, practícalo lento, pero con todos los dedos posibles. Es una cosa que va a empezar a hacer automáticamente, creo, en algún momento. can you give me a tip for snow or flea playing the chords and whatever? I explained it at the beginning of the stream, so when you watch it again, maybe it will help you. If if it if you need more information, you can always comment down below when it's already uploaded. Um, okay, I don't know how much time we've been through this. The timer always lies to me. I don't think we have a half an hour. I think we have more. But yeah, maybe a little bit more of questions to answer. But I like this dynamic, so we can answer things from everyone. That's the important thing. I'm sorry if it's maybe even painful to watch for someone that already knows these things and whatever, but you can always, I think, get something out of it. Hola, ¿alguna recomendación para no luxarme el pulgar al hacer slap? A menos que lo estés haciendo terriblemente fuerte, es difícil que te lo vayas a luxar. Quizás te va a doler en un principio y vas a tener callo y vas a tener dolor, y en ese momento hay que parar. Eso es lo más importante. Y tratar de descansar y después seguir dándole. Pero al principio va a doler sí o sí. Al principio va a haber ampollas sí o sí. Así que pasar ese tiempo luego y practicar hasta que ya ni siquiera sientas de cierta manera hacer algunas cosas. Mientras más fuerte, más va a doler también, así que tratar de hacerlo con lentitud. Why don't you have another bass? I don't really have saved much money from years before. I was kind of a poor person, and it's hard in this country. Things are not that easy to get in some for some people, and I'm one of those. So I'm hoping I can have the opportunity to have more instruments and professionalize more things about it. But I've been having to take care of some other things, some other necessities that are more important. But also, I really like this instrument, and I think you can get, as I always say, really much things about a really cheap instrument in a way. This wasn't cheap for me. It was a really painful inversion, really painful. So for everyone thinking, okay, my bass it's not getting me to some level or whatever, I really don't think about it in a way. You can really get much things from a not that great instrument, and you can. It's not a barrier for me, but I really want, of course, to improve this to get I think a more professional sound in some ways. But you can also upgrade around it. You can upgrade your amp. You can upgrade many things before your instrument. I think is in some cases more important. In South America, we can have more than one instrument. Yeah, in some cases it's true, but it also depends on what situation you have. You know, I know many people that have lots of gear and millions of dollars, maybe thousands for you, invested in instruments and whatever, but they don't really sound that great because they are not that great. So I don't think it's that important. And in bass, it's a really acoustic instrument in a way. You know, it's an instrument that really does the difference if you play it great or not, and you can see that. Maybe if you play a electric guitar with distortion and whatever, much of your talent may be left behind, um, if you're just shredding and whatever. So in this, you really notice someone that has a good tone, but in their fingers. ¿Cómo colocas el brazo derecho al usar una púa? Ok. Brazo derecho al usar una púa. Hay diferentes formas y depende en verdad de qué vayas a tocar. Si quieres tocar metal o algo un poco más pesado y que suene más brillante, quizás vas a querer tocar aquí. Pero siempre tratando de usar la muñeca y los dedos y menos del brazo. Porque si estás así, obviamente te va a doler el hombro. Entonces relajar toda la parte superior y solamente muñeca. Y si quieres tocar algo por acá también, lo mismo. Mucho movimiento de muñeca para evitar algún otro cansancio. Some slap, please, says Engendro. I already talked about it in the first minutes of it. So techniques for finger stamina. The thing here is just pushing yourself to the limit, I think. So maybe just playing one note, or maybe doing some of the warm-up exercises I already told you, but trying to force yourself to play a lot of time, maintained time with the same thing till you get tired, so you can practice something like this. And trying to go faster. Maybe concentrating on the higher notes, so it's easier for you. But the thing with stamina is you really need to give it some time. I'm already kind of tiring myself already, and it will begin to hurt in a second. But if you see my hand, I'm trying to get relaxed and not trying to move myself too much, you know? Just moving the fingers. The stamina will give you, I think it will be improved with some time. I think when I played that, I really suffered a lot, and it was because it wasn't much time I've been playing for that video I did. So maybe you don't see my face, but I was kind of in pain trying to play that, because when you record yourself, it's not the first take, it's maybe the fifth or the sixth take you're trying to do it, and it hurt. And sometimes you really need to decide to stop playing so you don't get hurt, especially when you're trying to do this. Yeah, it's just about time, in a way. Okay. Okay, if you don't have much more questions, I think I will be closing this. Parece deslice usa tu dedo anular. No sé a qué se refiere, pero bueno. What pedals do you need to play Orion? I don't know. I don't use pedals. I just use digital processing for everything. So I just plug myself into the. I plug the bass into the the interface and just play with the softwares. Okay, some last thing, Mr. Alesis Productions. Some tips on dead notes would be great. Okay, dead notes, ghost notes, and muted notes. I don't know how you call it. I think ghost notes it's the most usual term. But yeah, try to place the higher, the most fingers you can when you're playing on top of the strings, but not pressing too much, just on top of the strings, and trying to get this sound. If you feel there's a note playing, maybe you're doing it wrong. So you really need to feel just more of the percussive end of the note. And then the difficult thing it's switching between a note and a muted note. So if you can see, if I'm playing that D note, I'm just playing it openly, but when I want to do it in a ghost note, in the same string, I'm placing the 3 fingers to mute the sound. So you can do something like this, maybe playing the same exercise one time in a normal way and then trying to mute it. With all the fingers, or maybe in this kind of example. So the more fingers you can apply to the muting, it's better. If you use just one finger, it will be very hard for you to get a really good dead note. You will have many harmonics behind that. So for example, in this line, I'm doing this. So I'm just playing constantly here and selecting which notes I want to make sound. That's a really great technique for improving your vocabulary, I think. So I think that's the basic thing. Uh, do you use BSTs? Any favorites? So for emulating the cabinet and the amps, for the bass I use Amplitude 3, I guess, I think. And I use Waves, a lot of the Waves plugins. I think I doesn't count as BST. I think that's just plugins for effects, but I use them a lot. And for guitar, I use Guitar Rig sometimes. And for drums, I use Superior Drums. I think that's the best drum emulator, electric drums. Not much. I think for keyboards, sometimes I use. I don't remember. It's Korg M10, I think, or M1. It's a Korg Legacy VST emulation of some keyboards. Really great too for other things. Another question maybe before we end it. ¿Alguna escala pentatónica para empezar? Creo que esta es la más sencilla para comenzar. Y es así. Perdón. Entonces esta es la escala pentatónica de La, desde La menor. Sería La, Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. Y rellenamos ahí con Do, Re. Esa es una escala pentatónica. Se llama así porque se compone de 5 notas. La, Do, Re, Mi, Sol. Y volvemos a La. Y para que sea blues simplemente agregas esta nota. Esta es como la escala que más usa, la posición que más se usa, pero hay bastantes otras más posiciones. Y lo más importante es tratar de pasar por todas ellas naturalmente. Cosa que yo todavía no logro tan bien, creo. I play in a band, a group. It's called Ineres in my language, but you can spell it Inheres. You can search it on YouTube, of course. Okay, that's enough, I think, for today. Thank you for all the questions. I'm trying my best to help you. I really hope this helped you in a way. I'm always hoping this section helps somebody to get clear in some things. So I'm leaving right now, and you let me know if this helped, and let me know how can we, get this section better for every one of you. If you have some ideas, some smart critic, not some dumb, stupid thing that will not help me. Those comments I really don't like. So if you have smart and really good things to say to me, or maybe bad but in a good way, with good arguments, with good points, you can tell it to me and we can improve this. Okay. So I think it's enough for today, and thanks so much. Goodbye, everyone.